There's dispute in marriage at the beginning, both people involved, husband and wife, they will be justifying themselves because the reality has not dawned on them. If your wife has to scale down her work, or the man has to scale down his work, certainly the office cannot continue to bear your burden, because for office is higher fire. Whatever you earn, you must start to put something aside for the kids. What about if you have passed the ages, your children have passed the ages, and you have not done such a thing? Please go and do something now. Cover that the prayers that you prayed, all is focused towards building family, isn't it? Now, this is the chunk of what we have been praying together from Monday at 10 a.m. when we come in. And I've never seen a time in this church that we dedicated prayers for 1 week just mainly for families. And I learned a great lesson from that, because when we began to pray into families, and the Holy Spirit was directing us, issues that the Holy Spirit led us to pray are, quite very interesting. They are issues that really that are to be addressed in the church, because for over 30, probably about 40 years now, I've been involved in 40-something years. I've been involved in counseling marriages. When Mommy and I were just, even before we got married, in our long courtship, we have been involved together in counseling marriages of people who are very older than us. They called us to come and counsel them. And God, through us, has restored marriages. And these guys who I'm talking about are people in those days who are highly placed in society. They are directors of government establishment. And of course, that was in Nigeria. To be a director of government establishments, you have got to the peak of your career. And we have issues like that. Little did we know that God was preparing us for this work. And since I became a minister, that is about 38 years ago, roundabout, I have been involved in counseling people in marriages across culture. Africans, British, white, black, Asians, Indians, Americans as well. We did a lot in America. In one of my meetings in America, a marriage that had gone apart for 30 years was reunited. And what happened was that I was invited by Prophet Robin Hancock to do a seminar like this. And when I began to do the seminar, after teaching, I called people out who have been wounded in their marriages, whose marriages have been shattered, to come out. And they came out. And there are 4 lines. The first and the second line. So, I just saw that the person before me, many people were crying. Because, when there is dispute in marriage, at the beginning, both people involved, husband and wife, they will be justifying themselves, because the reality has not dawned on them. You will beg some of them, they will insist that, no, I don't want settlement. But when they now go beyond the yield point, that the man and the woman have to go on their own ways, weeks after, months after, they will begin to recognize that they made a blunder. That is Majority of homes that are broken. They begin to recognize they made a blunder. And then, because of self-pride, instead of them to amend quickly, they will continue to insist grudgingly, And before you know it, year will go after year. And this is the case of this marriage as well. 30 years they have been apart. One moved to California, I think, the other moved to New York or something like that. They never seen eye to eye. Neither did they know where each one was. And suddenly, the one in the front was crying, the one in the back was crying. They were weeping so profusely. And then the one in the front, who is the husband, recognized that the voice behind him crying looks like his wife's voice. They didn't divorce. They went their ways. And he turned back. And we just saw that two people who are in front crying now held themselves and put their heads on their shoulder and began to really weep. And before the two of them went to their knees. Because what is important, or what is real is this. There are decisions that human beings take, just like Mom is saying, about leaving the pressure behind. There are decisions that you take at a particular stage of your life that you have taken it because of your narrowness of thinking. But you will recognize and agree with me, the older you grow, the broader your ability to reason and see things are. And when people take decisions of such, which in their own conscience, it is the best decision for them to take, they soon recognize that every decision have a ripple effect and also a future impact. And when they now begin to grow into that future and the impact begin to show up, the impact, they may think about it narrowly, but they will soon find out that it is a wide ripple effect. And at that time, many of them always lose hope that, well, I cannot any longer. And then they coexist with these issues year after year until they now get very aging, where they will now need, come to recognize that, no, this life I'm living is not what I want to live. And at that time, it seems as if the remedy is not anywhere to come by. And this is been a standard pattern in human life. Now, today, we are looking very practically at issues that people may face in marriage. But when you get married, you have all time together because no one to share the time with you. But the moment you have your first child, the practical thing is that blessing of a child will impose duties on both of you to that child that you brought to life. And to fulfill those duties will take your time. But understand, that time has been used for something else before. Maybe that time you have used to work before. And some of you may have to scale down your work. Maybe that time both of you, your husband and the husband and wife, spent together before. And that time has to be given and shared with this child. Now let me help us understand this or reflect your mind to this. So, which means that if by the situation of your own family, because a child has come in, it will affect your work time, and one of you have to scale down your work time, that has impact on your earning. All these things are not thought through by anybody. But you'll find yourself in a position whereby if your wife has to scale down her work, or the man has to scale down his work, certainly the office cannot continue to bear your burden, because for office is hire and fire. And because of that, you may have to recognize that you have to renegotiate your contract. Because when you are given your contract, they did not put in your contract this issue of taking care of babies, and there's no law that gives you such right. Once you pass the period that law allowed you to be away, you got to go back to work. Now, because many people did not think it through, it started to cause a strain. But what is the remedy for that? So clear. Dialogue. Dialogue. Sincere dialogue. That when you recognize that, well, this crisis is coming up, we created it because we must have children. Then you have to sit down and face the situation and discuss the situation. You know that in most family, it always end up in blame game. It should not be. It is joint responsibility. So, the area of your work can be affected, and the area of your income, as at the time, can be affected. And so those of you who have not gone into it or who are just into that, you need to sit down and think through how to increase your capacity of earning, recognizing this issue that you face. Now you can apply that to now you have 2 children, you have 3 children, you have 4 children, if that's you. Another thing with children is this. You know, when many parents are giving birth to children, they do not have the consciousness that this is financial liability. These children in short time will grow and begin to sack money. They will need to go to a crèche. You may need to employ a nanny. You may need to, employ someone who waits at home. And all these things will take money. All right? If husband and wife are not able to sit down and sincerely look at their income and then unanimously agree on how they can share the weight of their income as to remedy or to solve this issue, it affects your love life. You know, when husband and wife are quarreling, I always laugh because they love themselves, really. Quarrel doesn't mean you don't love one another. Quarrel is just because you are not able to resolve ideas. That's how one calls quarrel. One has this opinion, the other has another opinion. However, both of you have the same heart. Your heart is to protect your relationship. That's your ultimate aim. However, one opinion is sincerely wrong, while the other opinion may be sincerely right. And what the Bible recommends for everyone is that collaboration, I told you, the 3 ingredients to keep the marriage spinning. Collaboration, cooperation, and transparency. Those are the 3 ingredients of marriage. Collaboration, cooperation, and transparency. You know, any marriage that is not so, you are already, one of your pillar of foundation is already cracked. And that marriage can begin to fall to pieces. So, you need to recognize that when you give birth to children, you have immediate impact on your current finance. Then you have potential impact on your future finance. Because when those children begin to grow to a particular age, they will demand, nature demands your commitments in some finance. And when these children now grow to the age of going to school, that's another expenses. You know, the children cannot work. It's something with the children I come to recognize. Some of what I'm going to be telling you, I recognize them when all my children are grown. All right? Though we took care of them and made preparation for all that. But we did not have the full knowledge of what we did until they have all grown, and now we can see them independent. There is no child that is a liability to me. You know, and I know families that children are liabilities. Even to their old age, they are still liabilities to their parents. But all that comes because you are not able to practically think through. So, if the expenses that you will incur increases by the age of your children, certainly you, both husband and wife, must have a plan to ensure that your income increases per the years you are spending. Another thing is that when you start to have children, no matter how young they are, baby, from the day of birth, you need to open an account and start to put some money away for that child. This money that you put away is not the money you can spend for anything. And let me tell you, regardless of what you earn, you can still do that. To put £5 away a month will be something at the age of 25 or 21. To put £10 away a month will be something when your child is 21. To put something away, about £20, £50, it may look small. If you start with £5 because you are a low income earner, you increase it to £10, you increase it to £20, you increase it. When that child grows up, all right, and want to start life, their own independent life, you will have somewhere to fall on into. The issue is that if you open it in the name of the child, when the child is 18, you cannot take money out of that place for her. That child has to become, you control the money. But if you open an account in your name for the child, when the child is 18, that the child now, bank will not listen to you anymore. You can't draw anymore because the child is 18. This is the fact. So, but if you want to avoid a thing like that, that your mind is that this savings is for your child at 21 or at 24 or 25, you can open the account in your name, but you cannot spend it. So that that child will not have to now begin to lavish, because a child of 18 always think they are very, very intelligent. But they don't know that that age is the beginning of intelligent growth. So you need to recognize is that whatever you earn, you must start to put something aside for the kids. What about if you have passed the ages, your children have passed the ages, and you have not done such a thing? Please go and do something now. Another thing that may be reasonable is to set up an insurance policy. We didn't know this when we were raising our children, but now we are more academically knowledgeable. So you can create an insurance policy for each child, and that insurance policy can be insurance policy that will yield at a particular age, and they can collect a lump sum. There are various programs that you can get yourself involved financially, that little money when the child is young, even if it's life policy. By the time the child is 50 or 45, 50, you have a lump sum, hundreds of thousands the child can have, which can help. Understand that what we are looking at is midlife crisis. And we have looked at the things that can give rise to midlife crisis. And also, how do you mitigate those situations so that you can turn those things to strength? So we have been looking at childbearing up to now, and you're planning towards having families. And we have focused on the finance. Now let me talk about the social life and spiritual life. When a woman gets pregnant, one thing that everybody must recognize and be very conscious of is this. The man is the one who got her pregnant, but the man does not bear pregnancy. A lot of men do not understand that sweet 16, flat tummy that you married, straight legs, those are the statistics you married. The eyes of dove, according to the book of Ecclesiastes, and robust cheeks. Good. It won't remain like that forever. Why? Because you are the one who caused the trouble. You got her pregnant. So when you got her pregnant, suddenly her body starts changing, but your own body remains intact. So no man under heaven have any right to complain about how the wife looks, because you are contributory. Really, I will say that you are the major cause. I would get that. Am I not talking? The man is the major cause. If you left the woman as a virgin, marry her and don't touch her, and she continues to grow as a virgin, you will see how trim, and she will maintain the figure. But now when the woman got pregnant, everybody is happy. The woman wants a child when she gets married. The man wants a child when he gets married. You fast and pray. Really? Every meeting you are the first to come. All right? God answered you. And the woman starts to change in her body. I think that one of the things that young men do not recognize is that that time is a time your wife needs your care more than any time. And a lot of women have been abandoned during this period. This is a time that your wife will begin to change in shape, in stature, and also in behavior. And when I say behavior, I don't mean bad behavior. I mean somebody carrying life in her. Her body began to react. She's not really what she thinks she is. In her spirit, she's still what she was. And then the frustration of not really being able to manifest what she used to be has a retrospective impact on the mental. And so, some women are not able to handle that, and they get very irritable. Some women become very, very angry. It turns to anger and annoyance. You know, and if the man is not aware that, this is a crisis that arose because of the fact that this woman is pregnant, you will not be able to manage that properly. If you see your wife who is very calm and quiet and suddenly in pregnancy at the early stage, really it happens, she begins to react strange. What you need to do, don't bind demons. It has nothing to do with demons. You have to now give her attention and patience. Do you understand me? Not to say, but why are you doing this? Yeah, why? She cannot tell. It's because some changes are taking place in her body. And to some people, this is how they could express it. But then they need care and pamper like a baby so that they can, pass through that section. And that period will soon be over. You understand? And that is where a prayerful Christian can begin to pray. A Christian man, apart from showing care, love, begin to pray. Do everything for your wife. Because, women, a proper woman does not want a husband to be flirting about her kitchen. A woman who is not like that is not a proper woman. Because the kitchen of the house is for the woman. A woman who is a proper woman, when she's cooking, she doesn't want anyone to disturb her there. You want to come and wash plates, she will not tell you not to. All right? She wants to be in control. Do the food, wash her plates, wash her food, prepare her food. No interruption. All right? That's a proper woman. So, to arrange this one, that is a proper woman. Yes. Because the Bible says when God spoke about woman in Genesis 3, he said your desire will be for your husband. So any woman who is not like that needs real prayer for deliverance, for God to reprogram you to be a real woman. But if you see what I'm saying is this. So the woman who is a proper woman loves her house to be tidy. The man helps the woman in hoovering the house and making sure that all the man things you do. But the woman wants her environment to be tidy. She wants to cook. She wants to prepare meal for her husband and all stuff like that. But when she gets pregnant, some women are unfortunate in the sense that they have this, bringing out saliva, vomiting and stuff for the first 3 months maybe. But some women don't have that. In my own family, we didn't have that. My mother didn't have that. My wife didn't have that. When they are pregnant, they are strong, they are very active, they are very agile. Nevertheless, you will interrupt them because in their mind, they are as strong as they were before marriage. But in real sense, they are not. So you have to manage, the husband have to manage taking some of their duties from them, tactically. helping them to wash, helping them, being around them, giving them the comfort they need when they are, doing all this work. And let me tell you, thanking them and praising them. When you praise a woman, it relaxes them, seriously. I'm telling you the fact. Till a woman goes to grave, she wants praise from her husband. She wants to be appreciated. So a man must recognize this so that you accommodate.
Between the years of 1984 and 1999, Apostle Alfred Williams was taken to heaven on various occasions where he was shown global events that would lead up to the year of 2015. And in 1999, the Apostle was powerfully shown the coming calendar for the world.
I want you to understand that the first war was in heaven, the first victory was in heaven, and it takes the man of heaven to win the earthly battle.
In December 2009, God instructed Apostle Alfred Williams to go into all the world and let them know that I am coming. Beloved, with this powerful instruction behind us, it is now time for us to arise, shine, and win every house for Jesus. Now is the time for the final preparation of the bride of Christ. A final trumpet call to righteousness in this time that is running out before the rapture of the church. Join us on this dynamic campaign to reach every house in Britain. They need to hear the call. Who will tell them if we do not? This is the prophesied time of harvest. It is now time for us to win every house for Jesus. For more information, call 020 7635 0447 or visit cftchurches.org. The time has come to arise, shine, and win every house for Jesus.
Behold, I am coming soon.